Welcome back. I sometimes get students coming to me for advice. They start off by designing a survey with mostly numerical response questions. Somewhere along the way, they add a couple open text questions to their survey. Even a question as simple as, "Do you have anything else to add to this topic?" They get the survey results back, and all of a sudden they have a bunch of open text responses. So what are they supposed to do with this qualitative data? In this video, I'll give you some advice around how to address analyzing open text survey questions. Open text survey questions can provide useful information about a topic. They may even be obvious questions to ask participants. These questions are structured in the sense that the questions are determined in advance with the same wording and format presented to all respondents. In analyzing open text questions, researchers are often looking for ways to describe, summarize, or condense the qualitative responses they have in relation to a specific question. For this video, I'm not going to consider combining responses to multiple open text questions. I'm going to treat these questions as independent and self-contained, with the responses to each question initially having a separate analysis. I'll discuss the possibility of combining responses later in this playlist. With that said, how should the student analyze their qualitative survey responses? This question implies that there's one correct approach for doing this. I suggest we start by changing our question to, given my research objectives, the question I asked, and the responses I got, what is the best way to present the results? In other words, try to match your analysis of a specific question with what you hope to find out and the data you ended up with. Let us consider this crucially important question. Have you been enjoying this video so far? Let's say the responses to this open text question from 10 viewers are yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 no, yes. Although this is qualitative data, the question and the responses lend themselves to being reported quantitatively. Just by counting, I can report 7 people indicated that they liked the video so far, and 3 people did not. Of course, not all questions and responses are going to be so simple. Imagine that people didn't just respond yes or no to our sample question. What if participants also gave the following responses? It's okay. The first part was pretty good. Didn't finish it. Good, but not what I wanted. It was helpful, but a little slow. The best video I ever saw on YouTube. As with our first example, these responses still lend themselves to being reported numerically or quantitatively. You could list them and report them as 7 yeses, 1 no, it's okay 1, the first part was pretty good 1, and so on. In many cases, especially when you have a lot of responses, it's better to categorize similar responses together. For example, you may see it's good, but not what I wanted, and it was helpful, but a little slow, both as a qualified yes. You may see that it's okay is also qualified yes. Or maybe you make another category for it. Qualitative research is an interpretive science because researchers always need to make judgments around how they're going to present and interpret their results. There's no strict procedure to follow that'll give you the right answer or show you which categories to use to summarize your data. In categorizing open text responses, you and your study team need to use your interpretive research skills. Hopefully you'll come up with categorizations that readers of your work think are reasonable. There are other approaches you can use to analyze open text questions. For example, you could simply list all the responses. You could just list the unique responses. You could give a narrative summary or a description of other responses, perhaps supported by a couple direct quotes from the surveys. You can try to identify themes across the different survey responses. You could do a sentiment analysis or different forms of content analysis or even word clouds. Whichever approach you choose, you should be clear on the rationale for analyzing the question the way you did. This is especially useful if you're a university student having to defend your work. If you're analyzing qualitative data in quantitative form, so you can include that question in a wider quantitative analysis, say so. If you're analyzing several survey questions in different ways, You can even include a table that lists the question, how you decided to analyze it, and your reason for doing so. That way it's clear to reviewers how you analyzed the question and why you did it. I hope you got a few useful suggestions on how to address open text questions. In the next video, we're going to talk about a key concern many researchers have with open text questions, related to the richness of responses people give. Hope to see you at the next video.